Page 30, Russian folk song. The top of the page introducing a new note, the A in the bass clef. And it is the top line in the staff for the bass clef. That top line, when a note is on that line, it's an A. And it's the A right below middle C. There's middle C, so the A is here. You see, if you look up page 23 where they show you the grand staff and all these notes and everything is there, and you go, ah! Well, what we're actually going to do is just going to take these notes just one or two at a time until we have them. That's all. So we'll take some time learning them. And right now, we're introducing the A in the bass clef. They give you warm-ups there. I don't like the warm-ups. I want to use the music. So in the music, let's talk about this piece. 4/4 time. It's got treble and bass clef. If you look throughout, it's over on page 31 too. It goes through both pages, and both hands are kind of busy. We got things going on. We're playing notes in both hands at the same time. We're playing multiple notes at the same time. It's like, what? So let's talk about this. I want to take it one hand at a time. I like to make sure I got each hand working, and then I'll try and put the hands together, because a lot of times that's a whole nother adventure, and it's just, who knows. So at the beginning, in the right hand, your thumb, they see the 1, 3 above it, that's the finger numbers. They want 1 for the bottom note and 3 for the top note. So 1 is on the C and 3 is on the E. It's important you know the names of these notes in the music. If you have to, just drill yourself. Just go through and play the notes and say the names. Don't worry about the rhythm. It's like at the beginning you have a C, E, and a C, E again, and a C, E again, a C in the next measure. It's a D and a D and a C, C. Just say them. They got to be automatic eventually. So we got the C. When I'm playing multiple notes at a time on piano, you put your hand in the position, this with the thumb, and I'm lowering the whole hand. I don't hold the hand still and try and do it with the fingers. You lower the hand down and just let the weight fall into the keys gently. Try and get them down at the same time. That's kind of hard. I'm not very good at that. And then next measure, 2 Ds in here. They're all quarter notes. And then over on page 31 at the top we do it again. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go to the second line here. When you have a C and then quarter notes still. Not a lot going on here, is there? Let's look at the left hand. At the beginning there, at the bottom of page 30, third finger on A, that puts you in this position. And just some A's, and then you get the rest on that A, by the way, is your new note. And then at the end there of the line, you have note as a B, remember the B, and then the A again. And that's pretty much it for the left hand. Put the hands together to see how this works. So you have here and here. You're actually in this position where the thumbs are sharing middle C. We call this a middle C position, because you're sharing middle C. Now you can't get 2 fingers on a key at a time. The keys aren't wide enough, and you don't need 2 fingers to play a note. So it's either one or the other. So one thumb will get out of the way so the other thumb can have it, or whichever. And it depends on the music. The music generally indicates which thumb they want you to use. In the beginning here, it's the right hand thumb going to use it. So the left hand just has to get out of the way, and you're doing this. All 3 notes at the same time. Try and get them down at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Get the idea? You work out the whole thing that way. Then we go back and we can add the articulation. The articulation is the legato and staccato and accents, is basically how you're playing the note. Not how loud, that's different. Just how you're playing the note. See, at the beginning you see the little sideways arrows on these notes? Those are accents. That means you play them just a hair louder than you normally, just a little extra weight on them. And then these, there's no accents here, so these are a little softer than that. And then top of page 31, they're accents again. And so forth. So go through and work out the articulation. Then we go back and add the dynamics. How loud or soft we're playing. At the beginning it's forte for loud. It's Italian for loud. I can't tell you how loud is. You'll have to decide what's loud. It's not super loud, it's just loud. And the accents are going to take it up just a notch, just above loud. Like seriously louder. And now it's just loud. Now again, accents. Then just loud. Now when you get over, or on page 31, you get down to the third line, you see the P. That stands for piano. That means soft. Now it's all soft. I don't know how soft. It's up to you on how soft it is. Just make it soft. And that dotted half note, remember, is the same as 3/4 notes. Just memorize that. A dotted half note is the same as 3/4 notes. So in 4/4 time, it gets 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is soft again. Then the last line, you're loud again. Like so. You got all that working. Then you can start thinking about speeding it up. It says with spirit. You see the idea with this tempo marking they show? A lot of times it's not really a speed, it's a mood, an atmosphere of the piece. And that implies some speed. It's not a set speed. You have to do, what is spirit with you? I don't know. It depends on what time of day it is for me. More spirit than that, or I don't know, it's whatever. But that comes last. You got to learn it accurately first, and then you can gradually speed it up. There can't be any hesitations anywhere. If you're hesitating anywhere where you haven't stopped and think, work on that spot and get rid of the hesitation. Don't keep playing through it and hesitating, because you end up practicing the hesitation and it becomes part of your piece. You actually hesitate on your brain does it on purpose. So get rid of the hesitations. Don't let them stick around. Now we spoke a little bit about musical form, and I told you I'd prefer to see it in the pieces. Well, here we go. We got it here. And they've labeled it for you, which is nice. They usually don't label the sections of a piece, the musical forms, but they're doing it here to help you out. And again, they're according to letters. They're not the same kind of letters as the names of the keys, but it's the same. It's A, B, C, you know. And they put them in boxes above the staff. That's just the way this editor has done it. That's really not part of the music. You're not going to see that in music. Generally, they would be rehearsal letters when you see it like this. But these are not rehearsal letters. These are sections, or parts of the structure of the piece. It's like section A is this melody. That's section A. Well, when you get to top of page 31, you do that again, so that's A again. Then in the next line, on the second line on page 31, that's a different melody. So they gave that a B, because it's a different melody. And then in the third line, it's the same as the second, so it's a B again. And then in the last line, we went back to our original melody. That's A. So the form for this is A, B, B, A. And that's how it works. Can get a lot more complicated than that, but that gives you an idea of, oh, these things do have sections and they have some form to it. It's just not a free-for-all, do whatever, whenever. Now on page 31, there's little notes in parentheses above the first line and above the third line and fourth line. That's again not part of the music. It's something that the author has stuck in there. They're just telling you that the section A is being done again. The measures, the first three measures, they're at the bottom of page 30. They're being done again. It doesn't affect how you play it. It has nothing to do with that. They're just telling you this is, and the third line down is saying, oh, by the way, this is the same as the measures up above. See the numbers in boxes above the staff, those are measure numbers. And we use those because we have an ensemble, because there's a duet part, and this way the measure numbers coincide and we can start in the middle. So I've explained all that before. Those are measure numbers. So just so you understand everything you're seeing in the music. I don't do the dynamics in these play with me's, I just play the note. You can do the dynamics on your own. Now I'd like to play this with you very slowly. You go ahead and learn it. Get your hesitations worked out, and when you feel you're ready, come back and play it with me, and we'll check and make sure you have the right notes and the right rhythms. We'll go real slow here, so I'm going to give us 4 counts. Now let's try it together slowly. So you put your hands in middle C position here. There we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, off. Now there is a duet part at the bottom here, the teacher part. I'd like to play that and you play what you just played, but we're going to go a little bit faster. And I need you to move up an octave on the keyboard. So just middle C's here, just pretend that middle C goes up to the C up above, just one C. So instead of this middle C position, you're going to be up here in this middle C position. And play it up here. Up here. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's do it together. 1, 2, ready, go.